Podcast that brings you the heart and soul of Rolla Bulldog High School sports. All right, everyone, welcome to Inside the Huddle, brought to you by Romo Athletics and powered by our title sponsor, Phelps County Bank. They are 100% employee-owned. They're 100% community champions. They are bankers by day. You ever know what they are by night? They're Bulldog fans. They're Bulldog fans. You darn right they are. So, yeah, appreciate Phelps County Bank. Go to mypcb.com. You can find out more about them. They do such a great job for not just our programs, but just for the community in general. So here we are. This is season 3, episode 70 of the season.
Hey.
Yeah, that's right. And we are here. This is the Coach Talk, sponsored by Taylor Chrysler. So thanks, Jeremy Shelton over there at Taylor Chrysler, sponsor of the Coach Talk. And we got our Bulldog track and field coach, Cody Sneed. Hey, Cody, thanks for being here, man.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, always a good time. The weather is unbelievable.
It's almost just like yesterday.
So I'm in the long sleeve, kind of a thicker shirt.
Probably 30 degrees warmer in just a day, yeah.
Yeah, and the sun's out, which is nice. I mean, and hey, so that means it's track and field season, right?
100%.
So how's it been? So you've been battling through some of the, you have the weather, right? We had snow on Monday or Sunday.
Yeah.
We had, and so we had some of that. And we've had the hot weather, and this is your third week, I think, of practice and stuff, and everything's been going pretty good.
Yeah, all of week 1, it looked like it was just going to be a tsunami the entire week, and there was enough time for us to get out here and practice, so we did. And actually, the only indoor practice we had was, 2 days ago, when the wind chill was keeping it at negatives for most of the day. And then I think it was 8 degrees by the time practice hit, and I was still wanting to make them come out here, but the other coaches talked me out of it. So.
Probably a good thing. Probably a good thing. So, Coach, let's go back and look at last season. So, you had we talked about this beforehand. There's 5 kids made it to state. So you had 5 state qualifiers. 3 of them placed in state. And then you had the other 2 were kind of near misses, right? And so not a bad season. But let's go back and kind of walk through that season. What were some of the highs and lows, and what were your thoughts about last season?
Yeah, well, we had a great crew, and every year you have a great crew, and we came together come district time, and our boys were able to win a district championship. It was some of the most PRs I have ever seen on a given day. It was an awesome experience. I'm so proud of our kids. And we went down to the final couple of events, and our boys came out on top, and were able to win the meet. It's the only meet we were really trying to win, and it turned out in our favor. So
that was awesome. Now, you had a couple kids. Did they get some school records on that district meets, or was it just the PRs?
I can't remember if it was the district one for sure. Cameron Martinson rebroke I think it was his mile record last year. It was one of his 2. Rebroke that record. We had Jason Stallworth broke the 100-meter record, 200-meter record, which was here since 1994. Gene Coleman, if anyone remembers him.
Coleman went to Kansas.
Yeah, held that record for a long, long time. And over the course of the season, we had like our girls shuttle hurdle relay record was broken. It's just one of those fun events that you do once a year, and we had enough hurdlers that were able to get themselves out there, and they did a very good job.
That's always a lot of fun. That's a good time. So you had the 5 people make it on the state, and that's when where Jason kind of got dinged up, right? Kind of the district thing.
Districts, we were really careful with how we were handling them. Sectionals, he basically didn't do anything, and you just can't keep that up for 2 straight weeks and maintain the level that you were at. Cameron, another really successful season, probably not in his understanding, since he wants to get on that podium, and we all want him to get on there. Another really tough field in Class 5 for the mile and 2 mile. The mile was first, which kind of spent him a little bit in the 2 mile, which is really his race. I think pretty sure this year gets flipped, so we're really excited about that. So he can go out there, give all on his 2 mile, and then the mile is just something extra for him to do.
Well, and he had that where his 2 mile was his second best time of of his career, right? And then he still ended up just outside. Was that this mile or just?
Yeah, yeah,
And
no,
he was
he
just outside the finish of
yep,
it.
he still had a heck of a performance. I mean, you're not breaking your own record every single time,
Yeah,
but he was right there with where he should be, and it just wasn't enough that day.
yeah.
Some guys come out of nowhere on state, some guys fall off, and he was maintaining and consistent, and it just
Yeah,
it's
and
rough.
yeah, that was that's but again, that's the
Yeah.
nature of the beast, and especially when it comes to those individual sports like
Mhm.
that, when there's so many variables on there with how
Yeah.
they can perform that at that time.
But
So,
we
go
no, I
ahead.
was just saying we did have some nice stuff, like you mentioned, some, all-staters, Owen Sanchez in the javelin, placed top 8. He might have been exactly at 8. Uh, he overcame a lot. You know, his jab broke. We got another jab that to use. The tip of that exploded.
Oh
So
my
I
gosh.
drove to the Gill facility in Champaign, Illinois, and we got him a new one, and it's a little bit getting used to. They're a little bit stiffer when you first get them out, but he ended up doing just fine and getting his all-state performance. He's at S&T right now. Chelsea Colinch did an awesome job in high jump. PR'd by 2 inches. You just don't see that
Yeah,
a whole lot. And she does that state competition, gets a top 5 finish. And Alice Obrist tied the school record in pole vault,
nice,
which
nice. Yeah,
I didn't think I was going to see for a
yeah. That
while.
was with one of the twins, right?
Yep.
One of the Hob
Yep,
girls.
with Abby Hobbs, and tied the school record and got herself on the podium as well. She's over at Lindenberg. So, yeah, it's awesome to see.
That is actually, yeah, that's what it ends up being. That's kind of a great way to finish. Again, you always want to have it for everybody, but having those people and then those special stories that kind of go
Hmm.
behind it's one of the things
Yeah.
kind of special. So let's take a look at this. So how many so of those 5 that got to state, 4 of them have all, like I said, all graduated,
Hmm.
and Cameron Martinson's the lone state qualifier from last
Yep.
year that's back. What were any of the other kind of key people you had, maybe from some of the field events or anything?
Yeah. So, really excited about we're talking about key people
Yeah,
that
yeah,
we
yeah.
got coming
Yeah,
back.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, our boys 4x4 relay. We've got 3 sophomores that are running sub 52 seconds.
Nice, nice.
Cruz Wilkins, Aaron Stallworth, Bennett Dooning. They just got to find that fourth guy.
Yeah.
We think we have some out there. Gavin Thomas has been looking pretty good for us. Just got to find that fourth guy to step in and they can compete. I think that they finished right around maybe 5th in districts
Mhm,
last
mhm.
year. So we just got to get that extra spot and jump, and we'll find out on Friday what that's going to be. Our boys 4x8, kind of the same type of story. We took 5th place by a couple seconds, but we've got Scott Williams, we've got Matthew Banta, David Fox, and then Carter Brown's another one that's been putting in a lot of work in the offseason and impressing me. Hoping that somebody can step into that role to just get them over the hump. We'll see if it can get them to state, but the first goal is to get out of districts, and then from there, it just takes care of itself. Field event wise, Nash Robinson sticks out. Uh, he made it to sectionals last year, won his district. He was one of the guys, the last events that we needed the points, and he
He got it,
wins,
yeah.
and we win a district championship for the boys side.
Is he throwing
But
shot?
he's throwing discus.
Discus? Okay.
Yep. So he'll throw discus. He's got a really good chance. We've got 4 boys that are looking really good at discus right now. Him, Tucker Robinson, Andrew Clardy are all doing a pretty nice job. We've actually been talking. They have qualifying standards where if you hit a certain standard, and normally you only get 2 to go into districts.
Mhm.
Well, if 3 people on your team hit it, all 3 get to go.
Oh, wow, that's
So
awesome.
that's kind of like the goal. I think it's
Yeah,
like 46 meters. That's what we're all throwing out there. Everybody's got to do it one time over the season,
yeah.
and they all 3 to get to go.
Oh, that'd
So
be great,
it'd
yeah.
be a great experience. But those other names, Tucker Sowers. Well, going back to net. Well, I guess it goes for both of these boys. But Jackson Cantwell
Mhm.
left early
Yeah.
to go to Miami. He's was the number 1 thrower basically in the nation.
Nation, yeah.
Um, but that's who we faced whenever we went to sectionals. So Nash didn't make it out, and then the number 2 Nixa guy, Mays, I can't
Yeah,
think of his
yeah,
first
yeah.
name. He's the number 2 in the state, so had to face him, and I think we got a 5th place finish with Nash right there. He was right on the fringe, but with Cantwell out, we're hoping that maybe that might open something out if we get seated in
Yeah,
the
that's
same sectionals, which I anticipate us to do. Um, Tucker Sowers in the shot. He took first at districts last year. He's looking really good. He's been putting in a ton of work over the offseason. They actually, over at his mom's gymnastics place, flip flop, they put a plyo board in one of the rooms where he does his rotational
Oh, no,
throws
there
at.
we
So
go.
you got a
I
little net
yeah,
hanging up. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And that's really a lot what a lot of it is the kids that put in that extra work are going to reap the benefits. Girls side, Bridget Starnes has been looking fantastic all year. Most girls that you normally see, they peak when they're
Yeah,
freshmen, and then as they get a little bit older, it's tough to maintain that with just how their body's developing. But she is one that looks the opposite.
yeah.
Like she's continued to grow these past couple of years, and I'm really excited to see what she's going to do.
Well, you know, because she was the MVP of the Powder Puff football thing, right? I think she was. I believe
I
she was, man.
I
She
think you're right,
yeah, yeah, she's fast,
but
man. She get that ball up there in the
uh,
end, the Powder Puff football, she's gone.
she gets after it. Sammy Inskip's another upperclassman for us. She was part of that shuttle hurdle relay that broke the school record. Um, she she's going to be our kind of all relays type person. Madison Hutton in the triple jump. She's a beast in that. And with Riley uh,
Dodson
Dotson
injured,
going
yeah.
down. I mean, she's going to be competing for one of our faster girls. So we think we're going to have some pretty nice girl relays with Bridget, Madison, Arlie Burke's another one who's been showing a lot of promise. And we've got a freshman coming in, Grace Fontenot.
Yeah.
Uh, she's fast as all get out. She pole vaults really well. She came over and asked me about javelin the other day, so I was happy to show her the
She's
ropes in that.
wiry. She's
Yeah.
wiry.
But no, she's really fun. But a lot of these freshmen, it's been really great getting to
Yeah.
know a lot of them. And I, with track, that's one of the few sports that you can really see freshmen contribute
Mhm.
across the board. So really, really excited about the
Yeah,
team.
that's good. I mean, you had some nice individualists throughout the few years. You've had again some successes as teams, as you're saying. So yeah, kind of rebuild here with some of that freshman group and sophomore group, having them all in as part of that team now. Because again, a lot of those sophomore on the boys side, they were in those relays last year as freshmen.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a great opportunity to kind of really kind of build and get things going. Um, how are the numbers overall for the program?
I'd say that we are above where the last couple of years have been for me. We're sitting right around 120 kids.
Mhm.
You always start off bigger
Yeah,
than where you are, but I had a couple people that it just wasn't for them, or this is the time of year people want to start getting jobs
yeah,
and ready for the
yeah, yeah.
summer. So I lost some due to that, and just other things going on in individuals' lives. So right now we're at 120, and there's not a whole lot I see falling off from here. So, pretty excited. Normally, last year I think we finished with 100 kids. So, I mean, if I lose 20, I'm going to be pretty upset.
Yeah.
So,
So when you yeah, obviously it's all about times or distance. I mean, it's all measurables. So when you go through this process with them, like all these practices, are they you're just tracking and getting times, and that becomes your group, and then during the year, can people kind of move up for varsity spots, or how does that play out in track?
yeah, so we have in practices, it's more so with the runners, with the throwers. I mean, we kind of will practice a certain event, whoever's in that event together. And I can see for the runners, it's a little bit different. We have our maroon group and our gray group, is what we call it. And our maroon, you can tell that there's a big difference in the speed aspect that you're going to have. And there's so many different events. We have every event for the most part that trains just a little bit differently. A 100-meter guy doesn't need to run a 400
Yeah.
all the time, so we'll train him a little differently than a 400 guys. But yeah, we place them in groups, and the first meet's an open meet, so everybody gets to go. And then from there, we might have, you know, some JV guys that jump up, or maybe there's someone that looked good in practice, started in varsity, and someone sneaks by him, and he might have to start going to some of the JV meets. But that's just the nature of the beast, always competing.
Yep. And you talked about that earlier, where you said, it's the people that do things on their own. They put that extra
Mm.
time in that separate themselves. And for so many kids, they track. for some of them, for a lot of them, it's a social event.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity, and we talked about that before. I found that when Ethan was in junior high, I'm like, wow, what a cool time that was.
Yeah.
It was just a
Yeah.
great time, and you saw why so many people like to do it. But it's those people that are really committed to it that do all that extra stuff. They do it
Yes.
outside of your typical practices, and those are the ones that are going to pop up. Maybe they don't, they're not on the radar at first, but that you'll see, oh, they've put in that time
Yeah.
and they earn that spot. And that's like you said, that's the nature of competition.
And that's one, another kid's popping in my head as soon as you start talking about that. And I got to give her a shout out because she just impresses me like crazy. Kimmy Brevitt. Okay. A lot of you guys followed her in wrestling,
Mhm.
managed to make it into the state finals there. Awesome. Awesome individual. I, when she came out as a sophomore, I don't know if I'd seen someone who struggled more running in my entire life. And that girl, she's asked me for blocks over the summertime. She's one of the last ones to leave practice. She's put in so much work, and just seeing the growth from sophomore year to this year and what she's able to do out here. She's another one I'm pretty excited
Yeah.
about to see how she's going to compete in the hurdles.
That's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
you get that pride when you see that and you see
Oh,
somebody take hold. Yeah,
makes you so happy to see,
and
and
that's why you
especially with
coach, man.
yeah, that's 100% what it is.
Well, cool. Well, let's take a look a little bit at our sponsors before we jump into some of the final things. We already talked about Phelps County Bank. You know them. They're 100% employee owned. Go to mypcb.com. You can find out everything more about how they can help you out with your needs. We got the Taylor Chrysler Coach Talk. So Jeremy Shelton over there does reaches out, wants to be part of the sponsorship because he likes everything here about the Rolla Bulldogs. We got the Jordan clan over there at Home Sweet Mo Properties. You got Jared and Danielle Jordan. Appreciate them. They sponsor our Spotlight Edition, so you see that on the senior signings, um, other activities that are alumni and things that are outside of the normal coach conversations. I always give a shout out to Juan Skills Academy, Kobe Wands. Um, Two-time All-State Bulldog, going to have his facility out there in Old St. James Road, and I'm kind of excited to see where that goes because
Hmm.
I think it's going to be more than just basketball, offering some other things as well. So, kind of excited about that. Jackie Morazowitz over there at In Full Bloom does a great job with all the balloon decor, backdrop rental, everything you can imagine. Had to do senior siding, weddings, uh, birth announcement type stuff. It's just absolutely awesome, not awful, awesome what she can do for us. Then the season ticket on ESPN 104.9, JP Maxwell, give him a shout out. I was on there last night, talked about everything coming up, and we'll highlight some of the track events throughout the season on Tuesdays from 5 to 6. You can tune in there. So, yeah, looking forward to all of that. Um, so let's take a look. So your upcoming meet, you said, is an open meet on Monday up in Jeff City.
Hmm.
It's Helias, Jeff City,
And
and then
us, yeah.
Rolla. So is that normally where you open up at?
Yeah, yeah, it's a good meet, uh, to face some good competition, but at the same time, it's nice to start the season with the entire team.
Yeah.
Once we get rolling here, it's JV meets or it's varsity meets, and where they're all medal meets and everything. And the kids like that; they like competing for something. This just kind of reminds them of the team atmosphere, gets them pretty hyped up, and starts off the season pretty well, especially with spring break going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
We do lose a lot of kids during that. Um, and it allows me to not be so stressed out where I want to make it such a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Because it is an opportunity just to compete
yes.
and just to see where you're at. Like I said, get maybe the younger class ready to see what the high school events are like, the
Mhm.
freshmen that are coming in. So that'll be on Monday the 23rd. Probably starts early afternoon, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think 1 o'clock is the start time. Just another chance for us to evaluate our kids before the medal meets start and start splitting up.
We good. So what are the other any other ones that are anything new on your schedule from last season? Any new meets you got into? Is it pretty much the same schedule as last season?
It's pretty similar, but we did add another meet. It's towards the end of April, and it's the cat versus dog showdown, is what they're
Oh,
calling it.
with Waynesville?
It's actually Logan
Oh,
Rogersville.
nice,
So
nice.
what the meet is, and it's pretty neat. Scott Reeves, if any of you remember him from football a few years ago, he's over there at Logan Rogersville now, and he reached out to me. And what they're doing is they're inviting teams with either dog or cat
Yeah, yeah,
mascots,
love it.
and those teams are basically teaming up.
Yeah, yeah,
So the Bulldogs, the Wolves, Hound Dogs, whatever
yeah,
you got versus Wildcats and Panthers and
yeah.
all that. and we'll add up our points to find out who is
Yeah.
the top dog there,
Yeah.
for us
Yeah.
or the big cat,
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever it
Yeah.
is. So pretty neat how that's going to be, and for us to kind of do something different. It's we'll be competing with some tough meets going into that.
Mhm.
So just something new to kind of relax a little bit before we really get into May and district time.
That is a great event, man. I love the idea of that.
And I
Yeah.
forgot to mention the best part. All the proceeds, at least on the shirts and whatever they're selling there, is going towards the local animal shelter there in Logan Rogersville. So I think that that's a great
Yeah.
opportunity.
Wow, that is so could give me a little bit of goosebumps right there.
Yeah.
That's just a great way to do it. I love having the other schools kind of team up together, get them along mascot
Mhm.
lines. I think that's just a really great idea. Then again, having Coach Reeves doing that because he's been around at some of the events, picking up
Oh
kids.
yeah.
Still, we see him around, so that's always kind of neat. Any memorable performances from last year? You've already talked about Summit Districts. Anything else that kind of stands out when you think about a certain event with a certain either a team or an individual that kind of stood out to you?
I mean, Cameron, obviously, he's probably our top returner, and he's been unbelievable since his freshman year. So he finally at the KU relays, which they ended. KU relays, he got on the podium
Yeah,
for I think it was the 2 mile. Is he got on the podium? I think he took seventh or ninth place, one of the two, but got over on there. That's a huge
yeah,
deal.
yeah,
You're
that's a
talking
huge
top.
event.
You're
Yeah,
talking top competitors in the nation, and he was able to get on. Earlier in the season, boys' night out, you're looking at 40 teams going to a meet over at Parkview High School, and once again, he takes first place and second place in the mile and 2 mile.
yeah.
Just awesome performances. Let's see other things that just kind of stuck out last season. Nothing
Yeah, because you already
necessarily
talked about the
coming to
district
mind. The
stuff. Yeah,
district was
was
like
cool. I mean,
like I
you had
said,
so
all
many
the
different
other meets
things.
are
Yeah,
are one of those experiences that are always cool, but there's just something extra whenever you do it at
yeah,
districts on the bigger
yeah,
stages,
yeah.
and that was definitely one that stood out for sure.
So, what would you call the cornerstone of this year? Is it your sprinters? Is it the relays, the field jumps, distance runners? I mean, what do you see as kind of the one that you're going to be counting on for the point production? I guess I'd say the consistency in the points.
Uh, I'm really excited both on our on the boy side is primarily where it's at, but even our girls are starting to buy in and come along. Those dorks. It's starting to buy in and come along is our mid distance crew.
Okay.
At 400 runners, 800 runners, and I'll even throw some milers and some 200 runners in there because some of those people can do the same events,
Yeah.
can do that stuff. Uh, that is kind of what when I took over, that was the goal of this program being revolved around
Yeah.
is being very good at the mid distance. I knew coming in, Rolla's not going to produce the fastest kids year in and year out. We're not going to get Cameron Martinson's year in and year out for the 2 miles and miles and stuff like that. So how can we fill those other spots with kids that are going to grind
Yeah.
through a race?
Yeah.
Not relying necessarily on all their athletic ability, whatever is God given and just grind through it. And that's where I think the direction of the team's finally winding up on. We've got some kids that, they've always said, oh, I'm a sprinter. I'm a 100, 200. Madison Hunting the other day decided she wanted to try some 400s
Yeah.
and she was about 15 seconds faster than the
Wow.
time we were setting for. So it's pretty neat to see that growth. And then,
Yeah, and Matt Smith's like 5'10", right?
yeah,
Almost
yeah.
5'11". So yeah,
I
getting out there a
mean,
little bit,
yeah, and trying to
striding
sell
out's a
them
little
on
bit.
that,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
making them realize,
Yeah,
yeah, you girls are fast here, but
you
when we
stride
go
out.
somewhere
Yeah,
else,
yeah,
Coach McCash is always going to produce pole
yeah.
vaulters. So yeah, we can always rely on that. I've been pretty privileged with some of the throwers that have come through here. I think we'll be sitting pretty nice. The girls side, we're still growing. Our top thrower from last year is a sophomore,
Yeah.
and we've still got some other individuals that are starting to peak out a little bit, but we'll kind of see where that goes. But for sure, I think it's our mid distance.
And mid
Yeah.
distance, I like that. Yeah, look, you got kids with a lot of grit, which you know, from my years here in Raleigh, hasn't always been the strong point of our sports programs is
Mhm.
always having those gritty kids.
Yep.
But I like what you're saying with that is you got those kids that are willing to grind it out, go through that process, deal with kind of the discomfort that happens in those
And you'll get
setbacks,
it
and
every
yeah,
single time.
and they power through that. If they're willing to do that, that's yeah, you can suck the will right out of somebody if you're racing next to them and showing you got that grit.
Yep.
They're gonna a lot of times they're just gonna fold.
Yep.
I love it. That's great. So, Coach, final question: do you fill out a bracket? I know you do.
You know what? With this being the season, I did not fill out one
What?
yet. Dude,
What?
yeah, I can't I'm very, very upset about it. I normally do. I'll sit down and I'll start reading, I'll treat it like my fantasy football
Yeah, I was gonna
roster
say I know
stuff
you're on that.
and I'll look through that, but just kind of with where we're at in track season and how it kind of hit early this
Yeah,
year.
yeah, that's what it seemed like. Yeah.
Um it just kind of I let all this stuff go ahead of it, but didn't do that. But yeah, hey, all I need to do is follow Mizzou and go from there. I know Ethan's going to Illinois, but I'm
So
a
you
Missouri guy.
so you think Mizzou's gonna get the upset over Miami?
I'm saying it right here, right now, that they're going to get the upset. I think so.
All right. Then do you follow SLU at all up there? SLU's got the
Uh,
9
you,
seed, I think.
I'll watch them and stuff. I
Yeah.
didn't see who that they're matching up with though.
I can't remember Georgia. It was Georgia out of the
Georgia, okay.
SEC. But SLU, man, they can put up points.
Yes,
They
they
can
can.
flat out get after it.
They're a
Yeah.
good basketball team
Yeah.
for sure.
And I think they would have been a higher seed if they wouldn't have had those last couple losses right towards the end of the season and stuff. But
Who did you put down for coming out?
I have not actually filled out a bracket yet either.
Yeah, give me a hard time. Come on.
Yeah, yeah, we'll
Hey,
finish up
yeah,
a family
when's,
one.
when's the
Tomorrow's the first game, so you got to get it done tonight.
is that
Man.
the 4 in or is that
Yeah,
those are
the 4 in or there was 2 games last night, and then we got 2 games
okay?
tonight. So
Okay.
then so those you get the
I'm
pass.
I'm gonna reach out to you tomorrow to see if you did it.
I'll get one figured out there. All I know is Illinois is going to go for a little bit of a run. We'll see how they match up against Houston when they get there to that Elite Eight area, 16 where they get to. So, oh yeah, it's going to happen.
All right.
It's going to happen. All right. Well, Coach, man, thanks a lot for joining us. I want to give a shout out to Inside the Huddle title sponsor, Phelps County Bank. Also, Coach Talk sponsor, Taylor Chrysler. Appreciate all they do to help us out. Thanks for the time. Best of luck. I know, again, you got the spring break coming up, but that just means it's track season.
That's right.
Got the open meet up in Jeff City on Monday, so good luck on that.
Thank you.
Looking forward to seeing a lot of the kids get some moments and learn more about them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Coach, thanks a lot for being here. Appreciate it. For Coach Cody Sneed, I'm Tom Brown from Inside the Huddle to the Heart of the Game. We'll see you next time.